Thick girls, God's design. Every line, every sign.
Welcome back to Thick Girl Theology, where we have brave body talks for women of faith. I am your girl, your resident thick girl, Mia Deneen, and today we're talking about Principle 8 of our Intuitive Eating series. Now we have 10 lessons, so we are almost there. And our lesson today is about respect of the body. And I'm going to call this Respect God's Work. I'm going to rename this principle for women of faith. Respect God's work. Now, I know some of you are already shaking, clenching, uncomfortable because the minute I say respect your body, some of you are thinking, here we go. Here is another episode telling me to love myself, telling me to just love my body, telling me to just look in the mirror and affirm myself and love my body. And before someone gets nervous and thinks this is going to be one of those just love your body speeches, let me just stop you right there. Because I'm not asking you to love every inch of your body. I'm not telling you to declare yourself a goddess. I am making a much simpler declaration. And I'm going to actually pose it as a question. What if you stopped treating your body like your enemy? What if instead of trying to love it, you started at respect? Because respect is different. You can respect something even when it's not your favorite thing. And you can actually respect something simply because it was created by God and it serves an important purpose. And that's where we start here with your body. I want you to respect your body because it was created by God. He called it good, and you were created the way you were created because there is an assignment on your life. And your body is not only the vehicle through which you will accomplish this assignment, but your body and the way that you are created is uniquely aligned with your assignment. So let's talk about it. The dictionary defines respect as esteem, honor, regard, and dignity. And dignity speaks to inherent worth. Like in Proverbs 31, that Proverbs 31 woman, the Bible says she is clothed in strength and dignity. That means she knew who she was. She had an inherent worth and value about her. It is the value that exists simply because God made her. And notice what isn't in the declaration or the definition, rather, of dignity. It doesn't say approval. It doesn't say admiration. It doesn't say perfection. It just says dignity, inherent worth, given by God for an assignment and a purpose. And I wonder how many of us have spent years treating our bodies as if they had to earn the very worth that God gave them at the beginning. Let's start with a little science. Did you know that your body is created by genetic blueprint? Some things were determined before you ever took your first breath, even inside the womb. For example, your eye color, your height potential, your bone structure, your foot size, your ethnicity, and yes, your body weight range. Some of those things are strongly hereditary, and others can be influenced by the environment, but the point remains your body was not accident, and your body was not randomly assembled. You were designed, you were knit together. Now, what I want you to understand about weight, because some people don't like to put weight in the same class as eye color and shoe size. But what I want you to understand is that weight is both a voluntary and an involuntary mechanism. It's very much like blinking. It's very much like breathing, in that there are voluntary measures that you can take to halt your breathing, to halt your blinking, but there's always an involuntary mechanism playing in the background, which means, like, if you held your breath, your body would shut down, you would pass out, and then you would start breathing. That is the involuntary over the voluntary, because the involuntary, even though it's playing in the background, will always win out over the voluntary, because your body was designed to keep you alive and keep you safe. Guess why? Because you have an assignment. It's because you have an assignment, and you are not supposed to go from this earth until you have completed your assignment. And so that's why your body has mechanisms to keep you safe. It's the same with blinking. If you were to hold your eyes open and hold your eyes open, eventually there's something in your eye and a muscle that would snap your eyelid shut. And then it would produce a repeated blinking motion so that your body could restore the moisture to your eye. So, your body has built in mechanisms designed for survival, and your weight works much the same way. Now, we can voluntarily restrict food, we can fast, we can go on a hunger strike, skip meals, ignore our hunger, and we can diet. But if the restriction continues long enough, and science says around 13 weeks, and that's when a lot of people call it a plateau. But what it is actually is, if the restriction continues too long, the involuntary systems of the body begin to fight back. There's biological feedback in that your hormones will shift, your hunger will increase, your food noise will get louder, and your metabolism will slow down to align with the lower amount of food and calories that your body is being given. Your body will become very efficient and will slow down your metabolism to match the calories that you're giving it. And so that's why it stands to reason that as soon as you stop eating that way, even for a short period of time, your body has already slowed down your metabolism. So that's why you see many people going back to their normal levels of food and then gaining back their weight plus more. Okay. It's because your body became efficient at the lower levels in that time and actually stopped losing weight at the lower levels. So then when you started eating normally again, your body gained back the weight with the quickness. So that is your hypothalamus doing exactly what it was designed to do, keep you alive. So this is not about, a lot of people use this as a means of shame, because the weight loss industry loves to blame the person, saying that they just lost their willpower, they lost their discipline, their body is broken, they sabotage themselves. But what is true is that your body wants to keep you alive and wants to protect you. And maybe that's our first step towards respect, is that your body has protected you. Your body has kept you alive through all of the things that you have had to hold space for in your life. And Black women, I want to hold your hand when I say this. Everybody says, and this is just my little soapbox, I'm going to get on it and I'm going to get off of it. But everybody says that Black men are the most put upon people on the face of the earth. And you know what? That may be truth. They are the most put upon people on the face of the earth. But you know what? What about Black women? What about Black women that, in addition to all of the things that we have had to endure with our jobs, with our families, sometimes being mother and father, out there in this workplace, out there trying to be a boss, out there trying to create legacy for our children? What about the times when we have also had to endure what the traumas that the Black men have, and we have often been the end of that line where we have had to endure abuse at the hands of our Black men due to the fact that they have endured so much trauma in this culture and in this society. All right, I'm off that. I'm off that. I'm off that. But Black women, your body has held space for so much. Your body is not trying to sabotage you. And these are some reasons why we should have enough respect for our bodies. Because you know what? If you knew what insulin did, and I probably need to do a whole nother episode on just insulin. But your insulin going up and your cortisol going up, and those things that have in turn stopped you from being able to gain weight, you know what? If your body didn't have those mechanisms, you would be stroked out somewhere. Hey, okay? And your body has used your insulin and your cortisol. And yes, it has stopped you from being able to lose weight, but however, it has kept your heart working right. It has kept you from having a heart attack, kept you from having a stroke, because sometimes great levels of stress can cause those things in people. But instead of that happening, God gave you insulin and cortisol. And so it allowed your body to make space for these things that were happening to you and allowed you to survive them. Because why? Because you have an assignment. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because you have an assignment. So let's talk about something else, just briefly. Have you ever heard about Chinese foot binding? For centuries, some families believed that tiny feet were beautiful and desirable for Chinese women. And so what they would do, they would bind their feet, they would bind their daughter's feet with these cloths, these tightly bound cloths that would cut off the circulation to the feet so that the children, the girls, would have small feet, because it was a sign of high stature and high status and marriability. And so these young girls' feet were tightly bound to keep them from growing naturally. And guess what? It worked. Their feet were smaller. Their feet did stay small, but many of them also became deformed. Their feet became painful. Their feet became disabled, many to the point of not being able to walk, because here the body was forced to conform to an external beauty standard, and the cost was tremendous. See, God did not co-sign that cultural beauty standard. And my question to you is, how different are we when we can't find respect for our bodies? How many women have spent years trying to shrink, bind, suppress, starve, girdle, manipulate, and force our bodies into shapes that we were never designed to be? And maybe the methods are different, but the message is the same. It's that smaller is better. Shrink yourself, take up less space, and be what somebody else wants you to be so that they can give you worth. And what if the creator never agreed with the culture? What if the creator never agreed with the culture? What if God is not co-signing this wish that your body look different, this one that you have? What if the one who created your body has a completely different perspective? And I'm telling you, he does. Just check Genesis, baby. He called it good. And it didn't have to be co-signed by culture. It was co-signed by God. And maybe you can accept and respect the fact that your body has a genetically programmed weight range. And could you accept the fact that God has already given you the final word on your worth when he called you chosen, when he loved you so much that he died for you? Because, see, this is where science and faith start aligning. See, research consistently shows that gratitude helps protect against stress and improves emotional well being. Literally, scientifically, gratitude changes how we experience life. And that's why the Bible is telling us in everything, give thanks. He's telling us in all things to be content. He's telling us to find things, count your blessings, look around and see that your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing. You didn't make that happen. Your blood is flowing, your cells are regenerated. You know why? Because you have an assignment. And that is evidence that you matter. You matter. Your story matters. And your body is here to serve a purpose for your life. So you can laugh with your friends, so you can sing, worship, serve, receive love, experience affection, and your body is carrying out your kingdom assignment. I think that is reason enough that we should respect God's work. Now, respect isn't just a feeling, it is also a behavior, because I told you before, we have to do things that are in alignment with the things we say so that our own souls will believe us. And what I want you to understand is that we have to do some things to show our respect, not just saying it, but showing it. How about dressing yourself with respect and dignity? How about replacing those negative words that we say about ourselves with the truth of what God says? How about maybe those insults and those things that we might say to ourselves, that we take those thoughts captive and make it obey Christ? And we tell ourselves that our body is a temple designed to house the presence of God, and our body is part of our kingdom purpose. Now, last thing I want to leave you with, and that is that the body can become an idol in either direction. That's why there is so much hoopla going on about the body. Our body can become an idol in either direction, either through vanity and obsession, or through insecurity, self hatred, and shame. Because either way, the focus is on the body, and our body becomes the center of attention. And you only have room in your heart for one God. There's only room in your heart for one love. And this is my encouragement to you. Respect God's work. Practice gratitude. Treat your body with dignity, because gratitude lowers stress. Respect leads to health promoting behaviors. So it doesn't matter if you want to lose weight or not. You want to respect your body because it helps you. It leads to more health promoting behaviors. And accepting God's design protects us from the schemes of the world that profit from our shame and dissatisfaction. Friend, conversation is bigger than weight or calories. It's ultimately about worship. It's about whether we will agree with God or the culture. It's about whose report we're going to believe. It's about who's going to get the glory out of our lives. Like, are we going to spend our lives chasing the approval of the world, or will we rest and be content in the approval of the one who made you? God made your body. He called it good. And that is reason enough to respect it. Until next time, God made your body. Blessings and peace to you always.
Girls